So as we discussed in the earlier lecture, when we talk about the linear models and regression analysis, what is the difference between the linear models and regression analysis? We say that both having the two variables y and x, y is a dependent, x is an independent. The relation between y and x is linear in parameters. Both contain the systematic part as well as the random part. That means if you are writing the models y is equal to beta 0 plus beta 1 x plus epsilon, then beta 0 plus beta 1 x is a systematic part and epsilon is a random part. But in a linear models, x is considered to be a fix. That means only y has the normal distribution. However, if you talk about the regression analysis, so when we fit the models, we say that let us that given a value of x, we try to find out the expected value of y. But here y and x both are jointly bivariate normal distribution. That is the only difference is that. So let us discuss about that. Functional relationship of one dependent variables y with independent. This is not dependent. This is the variable y is the functional relationship of dependent variable y with the independent variable. This is a independent variable x. Let us say x1, x2, xk, involving the population parameters beta 0, beta 1, beta k of the type. So suppose we have given that y is equal to f of x1, x2, xk, given beta 0, beta 1, beta k plus epsilon. So is called a regression function, where f indicates the form of the equation and epsilon is a random variable with mean 0 and variance sigma square. In short, if you write y is equal to beta 0 plus beta 1 x1 plus up to beta k xk plus epsilon. So this is said to be a systematic part. Y is a dependent variable. X1, X2, Xk are independent variables. Epsilon is said to be a random variable, okay, because it is a random quantity, and beta 0, beta 1 and beta k are nothing but the parameters. If you are writing in the functional form, y is equal to f of x1, x2, xk. Here it is given, that means the parameters, nothing. It is a, in a functional form, the parameters are given, plus epsilon. So y is a dependent, x1, x2, x is the independent variables, and epsilon is a random quantity. So this functional form is defined the regression. Okay. Here the assumption is that epsilon has mean 0 and variance of epsilon is constant variance sigma epsilon square. So as a particular simple linear regression models, when you talk about the regression analysis, if this relation between y and x1, x2, xk is a linear in parameters, that means f is a linear function where y is a function of x1, x2, xk, then the model is said to be a regression model, linear regression model. But suppose if you say that only one dependent variable, y is a dependent variables and x is the independent variables, and if the relation between y and x is given by this, y is equal to beta 0 plus beta yxx. Here beta yx means it is a regression coefficient when regressing the equation y on x. So we usually write here as a beta 1. So here I have just written because I wish to discuss the regression of y on x as well as x on y. So what is the beta 0? Beta 0 is known as the intercept parameters. Beta yx is nothing but it is known as a regression coefficient, or you can also known as a slope parameters, and epsilon is a random errors. And we assume that epsilon has the normal distribution with mean 0 and variance sigma square. So here they are normally independent. All epsilons are normally independent with mean 0 and variance sigma xy. And if you define the relation between y and x in such a way where beta 0 is intercept parameters, beta yx is slope parameters, and epsilon has this normally independent with mean 0 and sigma e square, then the relation between y and x is said to be a simple linear regression. So that is nothing but giving the simple linear regression. So you can see that here, before applying the regression analysis, you have to first see that whether y is a quantitative, because when you say that the regression model, when y and x both are quantitative in nature. Okay. Regression analysis can be applied when y and x both are quantitative in nature. As beta 0 and beta yx, or you can say beta 1, are parameters, so they are nothing but the fixed, and x is given by u, then what we say that this beta 0 plus beta 1 x is said to be a systematic part. Given a value of x, by knowing the value of beta 0 and beta 1, we can obtain the value of beta 0 plus beta 1 x. So this is said to be a systematic part in the y. And whatever the other part is said to be a random part. And why this epsilon? So epsilon is nothing but the errors, but it is the effect of the all other variables which are affecting your response, but you have not considered in your study. For example, if you say that I am looking for the cells of a car. The cells of car is y. Now the cells of car depends on which variable? Anyone? Cells of car depends on what variables? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
तो सेल्स ऑफ कार किसके ऊपर डिपेंड होता है? सेल्स ऑफ कार
Price, mileage.
तो let us say one variable is a price, second one is mileage, third variable
Performance.
तो परफॉर्मेंस, रिलायबिलिटी. बस यही तीन वेरिएबल है कि और वेरिएबल है?
और है.
कौन से?
Quality.
So that means quality. Quality, that is what the performance is measured based on reliability. Any other?
Resale value.
Resale value, very good. Then
cost,
comfort, then scheme. है ना, स्कीम मिलती है तभी हम जाते हैं कार परचेस करने के लिए. फिर कार कौन सी है? कॉम्पैक्ट है, स्मॉल है या बिग कार? टाइप ऑफ कार. फिर फ्यूल कैपेसिटी. फिर टाइप ऑफ फ्यूल, सीएनजी है, पेट्रोल है, ठीक है, इलेक्ट्रिक व्हीकल है या डीजल है. So that is another variable. But how do you know that whether the car is available in the market or not? Whether the company has launched a new car in the market? How do you know? So advertisement. So the sales of car depends on the so many variables. But if I am only interested that what is the impact of the advertisement on the sales of a car, I want to only study this. What is the impact of the advertisement expenditure on the sales of cars? But we know that there are so many other variables which are affecting the sales of car. So here let us say, y is my sales of car and X is a advertisement expenditure. This is in terms of a revenue, क्योंकि कितना revenue generate हुआ है sales करने से, और X is nothing but the advertisement expenditure. Now, based on the advertisement expenditure, I wish to identify, or you can say that to know what is the impact of the advertisement on the sales of cars, both Y and X are quantitative. I wish to apply the regression analysis. But what is epsilon? So epsilon is a cumulative effect. It is nothing but cumulative effect of other variables which are affecting Y, but not consider in the model. Okay, so epsilon is a cumulative effect of the other variables like the price, mileage, performance, but we have not considered in our models. We have only considered the advertisement expenditure. So what we do, we try to minimize the effect of the epsilon so that we can have a best impact of the advertisement expenditure on the sales of a car. Okay. Now, you have studied in the BSc level. If you don't know that what is the dependent variable and what is the independent variables, then you can have a two types of the regression Y on X and X on Y. But usually that is up to the BSc level. In usual setup, when we apply the regression analysis, our aim is that we should first know that whether the Y and X are quantitative. Yes. The second point is that whether the relation between Y-X is logical. Yes. Third point is that whether there is a correlation exists between the Y and X and which are significant. Yes. Whether the response has, whether the epsilon has the normal distribution. So epsilon cannot directly measure. So we always try to measure the Y, and based on the Y, we try to make the histogram of Y. We make a box plot of Y, and then we take the decision whether the data has the normal distribution or not. We will also verify that is there any heteroscedasticity in the data or not. That means variance are constant or it is vary from observation to observation. So this all the things we have to verify, and then we can apply the regression. But if you don't go for this, if you have given two variables, they are quantitative in nature, then you are looking for whether it is a regression of Y on X or X on Y. So the above one is called as the regression of Y on X, and the regression of X on Y is given by this. X equal to beta 0, beta xy. That means beta xy is the slope coefficient of regression X on Y. Here X is a dependent variable, Y is independent variable, beta 0 is intercept, beta xy is the slope parameters, and assumption remain the same. If the functional relationship in equation 1, say f is linear in parameter, then it is said to be a linear regression model. Otherwise, it is known as a non-linear regression model. So linear regression means if the relation between the Y and x1, x2, xk is linear in parameters, then we call them as a linear regression model. Otherwise, it is said to be a non-linear regression model. Suppose if you are writing the equation like that, y equal to beta 0 plus beta 1 x square plus epsilon, then this model is known as a sometimes you can also write this way. Then what about this model? Is it said to be linear?
Yes.
Why it is said to be linear? Because the relation between y and x is linear in parameters. So we have to see that the power of beta 0 and beta 1 is 1. here power of beta 0, beta 1 and beta 2 is 1. So relation between y and x is linear in parameters, then it is said to be a linear model. And it is a quadratic in a x. So this model is said to be quadratic, but quadratic in a x. Okay. And it is also known as a polynomial of regression equation. It is also known as a polynomial regression model of order degree 2. कितना x की पावर कितना है 2 है, तो it is said to be a polynomial of regression model. सॉल्व कैसे करेंगे? जैसे सिंपल लीनियर रिग्रेशन सॉल्व करते हैं वैसे ही, जितनी भी पॉलिनोमियल है इसको मैं क्या कहता हूँ, असाइन इट इज x1, दिस आई कैन राइट इट इज x2 and then perform the multiple linear regression model. So what is the aim of linear regression models? The aim of linear regression model is to estimate as best as possible the value of y, dependent variable, from the set of independent variables. So our aim in regression model is that we wish to estimate the value of y based on this x. Okay, and the regression analysis is also called, or regression equation is also called the estimating equation or prediction equation, because our aim is that we wish to know the value of y. We wish to predict the value of y based on the variables, independent variables x1, x2, xk, and if we wish to estimate the models, then it is also known as the estimating equation. And the idea of the regression model was coined by the Sir Francis Galton. Okay, he has given the concept of a regression analysis. So we will first talk about the simple linear regression models. What is the simple linear regression models? If it has a one dependent variables and one independent variable, and if you add independent variables like x, एक की जगह पे आप x से ज़्यादा लेते हैं, then the simple linear regression model is extended to the multiple linear regression model. So first, our objective in the regression analysis is that we wish to estimate the models. Okay, so estimate of the parameters of the regression models y equal to beta 0 plus beta 1 x plus epsilon is obtained by the theory of least square. So what is the theory of least square? We have already obtained this equation. If you are writing that it is a yi equal to beta 0 beta 1 xi plus epsilon I, then you can find out epsilon I is nothing but yi minus beta 0 minus beta 1 xi. And least square मतलब आपको minimize करना है error sum of squares को. तो there are n observation. Epsilon I square is nothing but summation I running from 1 to n yi minus beta 0 minus beta 1 xi square. So you have to minimize this quantity with respect to beta 0 and beta 1. You will get the set of normal equation. And by solving that, you can find out the estimate of the beta 1 cap as summation xi minus x bar yi minus y bar divided by summation xi minus x bar whole square. And beta 0, so beta 0 cap is nothing but y bar minus beta 1 cap x bar. So you will find out this by solving the, or by using the method of least square. Method of least square means you have to minimize this quantity sum of square due to error, because epsilon is nothing but difference between observed value and true value. It is known as the error. So there are assumptions on a regression models. Each variables x and y are distributed as normally and independently about the mean. So it is a x and y has the jointly bivariate normal distribution with expected value of y given x equal to x is given by beta 0 plus beta 1 x, and variance of y given x equal to x is given by the sigma square. So x and y have a joint bivariate normal distribution individually they are normal, and has the mean is and variance. Population values of y corresponding to each selected x has the mean. Okay, the population value of y corresponding to each selected s has been lie with the population value of y corresponding to each selected x is mu, and which lie on the line mu equal to beta 0 plus beta 1 x minus x bar. So that means it is nothing but the relation between the y and x is nothing but beta 0 plus beta 1 x. The variable x is measured without error and known exactly. So these are assumptions. The relation between y and x is a linear, and the expected value of y, this is known as the expected value of y given x equal to x is mu, and that is given by beta 0 plus beta 1 x. Both y and x are jointly bivariate normal distribution. The homoscedasticity rate of variance, it means that the variance of y, that is sigma square y given x, is assumed to be a constant in a linear regression models, and it is same as a sigma epsilon square. So homoscedasticity means the variance of y given x is same as the variance of epsilon square. That means the variance of y remain the constant across the different values of y. That is called the homoscedasticity. Now, how to obtain the estimate of parameters? As I say that by using the method of least square. So how will you obtain method of least square? By minimizing the sum of square due to residuals. And now when you say that, what is the difference between the errors and residuals? Errors you define as it is the observed minus true value or the model value. Our residuals is nothing but it is a observed minus estimated value. The estimated value you have to replace beta 0 by beta 1, beta 0 cap, and beta 1 by beta 1 cap. So this is called the residual. And this is called the error. Okay. So we try to minimize the sum of square due to residuals, that is summation ei square, I running from 1 to n. And we know that ei is nothing but beta yi minus beta 0 minus beta x. But this we obtain minimize means minimize with respect to beta 0 and beta 1. So this. If you take the partial derivative with respect to beta 0, it is a twice of summation yi minus beta 0 cap minus beta 1 xi. Cap outside is a summation xi. So this is a one normal equation. Now if you take the derivative with respect to beta 1, is a beta 1. Okay, then it is again it is a twice of this into now the derivative of this with respect to beta 1. So the xi is a constant, so it is a minus xi, and this is 0. If you take to this side,
Hello, sir.
सचिन.
हाँ बोल.
अरे बघ,
सचिन
हॅलो
ना
हॅलो हां बोल.
कॉल केला सर
हा मेसेज केलाय सरांचा.
म्हणतात
तो कहाँ से चला गया था? हेलो हेलो
हॅलो सर.
हाँ, कहाँ से चला गया था? मैं वहाँ से रिपीट करता हूँ. हेलो कहाँ से गया था?
सेकंड पॉइंट.
सेकंड पॉइंट कौन सा? अच्छा, ओके, यहाँ से ना. So we have said that the beta 1 cap is unbiased estimator of beta 1. Now we wish to find out what is the distribution of beta 1 cap. So we know that the beta 1 is the linear combination of epsilon, and because beta 1 is the linear combination of epsilon, we say that if epsilon has the normal distribution, by normality property, beta 1 cap has also a normal distribution. So what is the mean? The mean of beta 1 cap is expected value of beta 1 cap. It is nothing but beta 1. Now what about the variance? So we wish to find out the variance of beta 1 cap is sigma square upon summation xi square. So to prove that, we know that what is the variance of beta 1 cap? It is a sxy upon sx square. But this can be written as a beta 1 plus summation xi epsilon I upon summation xi square. So what is the variance of beta 1 cap? So variance of beta 1 cap is variance of beta 1 plus variance of this quantity plus twice of covariance between the beta 1 cap and summation of this. But variance of beta 1 cap is 0. Covariance between the beta 1 cap and this part is also 0. So finally it remains the variance of this quantity. And to prove this, what is the variance of this quantity? So I have just proved here the variance of summation xi epsilon I divided by summation of xi square. The summation of xi square is a constant, so if it is taking outside, it is a square. So summation xi square whole square, and because epsilons are independent, the variance of sum of independent variable is nothing but the sum of variance of the variables. So this sum outside xi is a constant, so if it takes outside from the variance, it is xi square into variance of epsilon I. But variance of epsilon I is a sigma e square, so we can say that sigma e square, and this is a summation xi square तो डिनोमिनेटर में क्या है, स्क्वायर है, तो दिस विल बी कैंसल आउट. तो इट इज ए variance of this quantity is a summation sigma e square upon this. So that is what it is written. And therefore beta 1 cap has the normal distribution with mean beta 1 and variance is sigma e square upon summation x square. Okay. अभी नेट चला गया क्या? ये तो है. ये क्या आप लोग जवाब नहीं देते हैं तो हमें पता नहीं चलता है कि आप लोग सुन रहे हैं कि नहीं सुन रहे हैं. फिर हमें ये भी नहीं पता चलता है कि इंटरनेट कब चला गया. So if you find the maximum likelihood estimators of the beta 1 and not the maximum likelihood estimator, it is a OLS estimator. OLS estimator of beta 1 and sigma e square is given by beta 1 cap equal to this and sigma e square is nothing but 1 upon n minus 1 summation e square upon n minus 1. We have already proved estimate of sigma square is nothing but e dash e upon n minus p or n minus r in the linear models and regression analysis. Okay, so it is saying that it has the this, so that you have to in a homework. And further, if you find out the ML estimate, the ML estimate of if I am saying it is a star, so it is also the same. But when you find out the ML estimate of a sigma square, it is nothing but SSE upon n, not the n minus 1. Why here there is a less of 1 degree of freedom? Because only one parameters we need to estimate independent. Because beta 0 cap you are estimating by using this formula. So you have to actually estimate independently only one parameter, beta 1. And that's why you are losing 1 degrees of freedom. The relation between the correlation coefficient and the regression coefficient, so we know that it is a geometric mean of regression coefficient. So R is nothing but the geometric mean. Why geometric mean? Because beta yx into beta xy. So there are two terms raised to power 1 by 2. It is a geometric mean. The simple correlation coefficient is regression y on x and x on y is nothing but it is a geometric mean of that. So that you can prove it, though it is additionally I am giving because this you have studied in the BSc, but I may ask in MCQ. So beta y cap x into beta xy cap. So what is the beta y cap x? It is syx upon sx square, and this is yx. If syx is equal to sxy, both are the same, so there is no issue. Into this, so this is a square, and this is called the r square. And it is nothing but if you take square root, so it is a r equal to plus or minus y root beta y cap by cap x and b xy cap. The sign of regression coefficient and correlation coefficients are always same. If beta yx is positive, then bxy is also a positive, and therefore the correlation is positive. If this is negative, then the sign of correlation is also negative. This is known as the signature property of the regression coefficient. Now, arithmetic mean of two regression coefficient beta yx and beta xy is always greater than or equal to the correlation coefficient between x and y. So we can say that the arithmetic mean of regression coefficient is always larger than the geometric mean, because R is nothing but geometric mean of a regression coefficient. If x and y independent variables, then the regression coefficient beta xy is 0. This is known as the independent property of a regression coefficient. So when you say that x and y are independent, the correlation between them is 0. That means variance cannot be 0. So that means covariance between xy is 0. And covariance between xy is 0. It means that beta xy and beta yx is 0. Why? The reason is that the formula of beta yx beta cap is nothing but syx upon sx square. So if this is the 0, that means sx square cannot be 0. That means syx 0. So correlation is 0. So this is known as the independent property. If one of the regression coefficient in a simple linear regression is greater than unity, then second is known as a less than unity. It is known as the magnitude property. It means that suppose if you say that beta xy is greater than 0, then another regression coefficient is always less than 0. Why? Because the product is a correlation coefficient and it is always varies between -1 to 1. So this property is known as a magnitude property. Now suppose I wish to find out the variance of beta 0 cap. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I wish to find out the variance of beta 0 cap. What is beta 0 cap? We already obtained. It is a y bar minus beta 1 cap x. So y bar minus beta 1 cap x. That means how will you find out this variance? It is a variance of y bar minus 2 times covariance between the y bar and beta 1 cap x bar. But x bar मैंने निकाल लिया, बाहर ले लिया. So that is how it is a 2x bar covariance y bar and beta 1 cap. Beta 1 cap is sxy upon sx square plus variance of this quantity. So variance of this quantity is x bar is outside, so it is x bar square, and variance of beta 1 cap we already obtained. It is a sigma epsilon square upon sx square. Now, but what is the covariance between this? The covariance between y bar and this is 0. How? यहाँ पे 0 लिखा तभी हम लिख सकते हैं ना कि variance of y bar is nothing but sigma e square upon n. Why? Because variance of y is a sigma e square. तो variance of y bar क्या होगा? Sigma e square upon n. और इसका variance आपके पास यहाँ पे. So variance of beta 0 cap is nothing but actually a sigma e square plus 1 upon n x bar square upon sx square. Or sometimes it may also write in this way. Sigma e square 1 upon n plus x bar square, और sx को क्या लिखते हैं? xi minus x bar square. तो ऐसा MCQ में पूछ सकते हैं. What is the variance of beta 0 cap? Now why the covariance between them 0? तो बता सकता है? ठीक है, तो होमवर्क में कैसे सॉल्व करेंगे? sxy की जगह पे क्या लिखेंगे आप? syx आपने लिखा है समेशन xi माइनस x बार इंटू yi माइनस y बार. इसको मैं ऐसे लिख सकता हूँ समेशन xi माइनस x बार इंटू yi माइनस समेशन xi माइनस x बार इंटू y बार. ये y बार बाहर ले लो तो क्या हो जाएगा? दिस इज xi माइनस x बार yi, और ये क्या हुआ? y बार बाहर आ गया तो समेशन xi माइनस x बार, एंड समेशन xi माइनस x बार क्या है? 0. तो दिस इज ओनली दिस क्वांटिटी. ओके, और xi माइनस x बार है तो इसमें भी आप क्या कर सकते हैं? yi की जगह पे क्या लिखो? बीटा 0 प्लस बीटा 1 x epsilon I, and then you find out the substitute, and then you can solve this. You will get the 0. x square तो कॉमन रहेगा. Now if you find out the sum of this is 0, what is EI? EI is nothing but residual. So we say that the sum of the residuals of any regression models that contain intercept is always 0. So without intercept it may not be 0, but whenever the model contains or intercept parameters, then the sum of residual is always 0. We will show you the proof. And because this is a 0, so if you take this side, so summation yi equal to summation yi cap, that means sum of the observed value always equal to sum of the fitted value by using this thing. And the least square regression line always passes through the center point y bar and x bar. So we know that whatever the regression line you say that it always pass through the equation y bar and x bar. And sum of the residuals by the corresponding value of the regression variable. That means product of sum of product of residuals and corresponding regression is always 0. So this is x is belong to the estimation part and e is belong to error part. So we have already proved that estimation and error are orthogonal. Okay, so that means by using that you can also, and by using the substitute value of ei, that is yi minus yi cap, and you can also prove it. Sum of residuals with sum of the residuals, or you can say that the product sum of the product of residual with corresponding fitted value always equal to 0. That means ei and yi cap, if you take the product of this and then sum, it is always giving the 0. So what you have learned, summation ei is always 0 when the model is with intercept. Second, we have seen that summation yi equal to summation yi cap. Third, you have seen summation xi ei is always 0. Fourth, you say that summation yi cap ei is always 0. So how to prove that? So let us, if I'm writing beta 1 cap as a sxy upon sxx, so I can write this. Now what I will do, xi minus x bar upon ssx into yi and minus xi minus x bar ssx into y bar. Okay, but if you take y bar and ssx, it's free from the I, so summation xi minus x bar is 0, so that means this quantity is 0. And if I'm saying that this is a CII, so CI is nothing but xi minus x bar upon sx, so I can write it as a CI yi. Now I wish to find out the covariance between y bar and syx upon sxx. So y bar is nothing but it is a yi upon n, and this is a summation ci yin. If I'm, because the I can take the summation outside, so it is a 1 upon n covariance between the yi into yi, and this is the ci outside on the other side. So this is nothing but the 1 upon n summation ci, and this is a variance of yi. Okay, variance of y is nothing but we already obtained, it is a sigma y square. So sigma y square is outside, so summation of ci. But what is summation of ci? Summation of ci is 0. Why? Because if you take the sum over this, what happened? Sxs is outside and xi minus x bar sum is 0. So summation ci is also 0. So that is how the covariance between the y bar and beta 1 cap is always 0. So that we have obtained. Now if I wish to prove that summation ei equal to 0, so I know that what is the summation ei? It is a yi minus yi cap, their summation. So this is nothing but the summation yi equal to summation yi cap. So what will you write? Y cap is nothing but beta 0 cap plus beta 1 xi, and this is nothing but n beta 0 cap plus beta 1 summation xi and xi ei. So xi ei, this is xi, ei is nothing but yi minus yi cap. If you multiply this xi yi minus xi yi cap, this xi yi cap is nothing but beta 0 cap, beta 1 cap. So this is a beta 0 cap summation xi minus beta 1 cap xi square. So if you take beta 0 cap, if you what is this? To look at our second normal equation, and this is our first normal equation. Why it is become the 0? So you can say that. What about this? This we said it is a 0 in normal equation. What is n beta 0 plus beta 1 summation xi? I will show you. See, this is the first normal equation. What is that? It is a summation yi equal to n beta 0 cap plus beta 1 cap summation xi. So that is what we got. Summation y equal to this, and the difference is 0. So this is nothing but the summation yi cap, and that's why we written that summation yi minus yi cap is summation ei equal to 0. And second normal equation, you can say that summation yi xi equal to this. So now you can just see that. That is how by using that we have proved. यही मिला आपको summation yi equal to this. So this is nothing but the first normal equation. लेफ्ट हैंड साइड ले जाएंगे तो क्या हो जाएगा 0. तो वही लिखा है उन्होंने, लेफ्ट हैंड साइड में ले जाएंगे तो 0. एंड सेकेंड xi ei, xi ei इसको आपने अगर 0 कहते हैं तभी ये आपका नॉर्मल इक्वेशन आएगा. सेकेंड नॉर्मल इक्वेशन तो summation xi y equal to this. So that is how the xi ei is 0. And now third we prove yi cap into ei. So yi cap, what is ei? It is yi minus yi cap. Now what is the, or you can prove in that way also, yi cap equal to beta 0 cap plus beta 1 xi into ei. Now beta 0 cap is constant, so summation ei is 0, and beta 1 cap is constant, so summation xi is 0. So that is how the yi cap xi is 0. Y cap ei is 0. Okay. Now what is the sum of square due to residuals? The sum of square due to residuals is summation ei square, and summation ei square is nothing but yi minus yi cap whole square. तो यहाँ पे हम क्या करेंगे, y bar subtract करेंगे and y bar add करेंगे. तो we can write it as yi minus y bar minus yi cap minus y bar. So y bar ये minus है, this will be plus, this is cancel out, so you will get the same quantity. Now that means I have to take the, it is a, let us say a and b, so it is a minus b square, so it is a square minus 2ab plus b square. So it is a summation yi minus y bar, and this is a b square is summation yi cap minus y bar square minus 2 times ab, that is the covariance between the yi minus y bar and yi cap minus y bar. Now what is that? So first we have to find out the what is the variance of covariance between them. So covariance between the yi minus y bar क्या आएगा? Is it a 0? ये आपको 0 प्रूव करना पड़ेगा. तभी क्या हुआ कि सम ऑफ स्क्वायर ड्यू टू रेसिडुअल्स इज ए सम ऑफ स्क्वायर ड्यू टू टोटल्स एंड सम ऑफ स्क्वायर ड्यू टू रिग्रेशन. लेकिन वो हम आगे प्रूव करते हैं when we come to that. Okay. So these are the basic. ये इसमें से MCQ आपके निकल सकते हैं. What is the variance of beta 0 cap? What is the signature property? What is the magnitude properties? Okay.
Okay, sir.
Hello. Hello.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So लेकिन ये आपको हमेशा याद रखना है कि when you fit the regression models, first you have to verify the basic assumption. Whenever you have given the data, first see that whether the data are independent of order or not. So apply the runs test. The test name is known as a runs test. तो आपके पास एप्सिलॉन, एक्चुअली ये assumption किसके ऊपर है? एप्सिलॉन के ऊपर, because we said that epsilon has normally independent with mean 0 and variance sigma e square. So this assumption are on epsilon I. So epsilon is not available. So initially what happened? We say that y is a linear function of epsilon. So whatever assumption of epsilon, that is also true for the y. So we always check whether the run test, whether the data are independent of order or not. So we apply the run test on the y. Sometimes people straight away feed the least square models and then calculate the residuals and then verify the assumption whether the residuals are independent or not, residuals are normal or not. Okay. Second, see that whether the data follows the normal distribution or not. One has to check the Kolmogorov-Monro test. It is a goodness of fit test to see that whether the data is coming from assumed distribution or not. The assumption is here, it is coming from the normal distribution. Okay. One can also see that whether the variance is a constant or not. So chi-square test can be used when the data is normally distributed. Sometimes, suppose if you wish to check whether the two variances are equal or not, so you have to go for the F test. And if you wish to see that whether the K variants are equal or not, one has to go for the Bartlett test of homoscedasticity. But this is not right now required in regression. If data is not normally distributed, then if you wish to test the normal, if you wish to test the homoscedasticity, then the test name is the Levens test. Just for your knowledge, it is not the part of our syllabus. But whenever you have the data, how to check the independence of order, run test, how to check the normality, Kolmogorov-Monro test, how to see that whether the data is variance is a constant or not. So you can also use the chi-square test. Equality of two variance can be assessed by the F test, Snedeker F test. Equality of the several variances when the data is coming from normal distribution, then it is a Bartlett chi-square test of homoscedasticity. And if it is not normal, then you can say you can use the Levens test. Okay, आगे बढ़ते हैं. ये सारा जो भी अभी मैं लिया वो सारा आप बीएससी में पढ़ चुके हैं. आई एम जस्ट गिविंग द रिवीजन. Okay, I wish to find out the estimate of a sigma square. Okay, जो मैंने आपको थोड़ी देर पहले होमवर्क में दिया, यहाँ पे उसका प्रूव किया है. In simple linear regression analysis, we have a 3 parameters. So beta 0 and beta 1 are available in the regression equation, and sigma square is giving the variance of EI, epsilon I. So how many parameters? We have a 3 parameters. To test the hypothesis regarding the parameters, we need the estimate of beta 0, beta 1 and sigma square. Beta 0 estimate we have obtained. What is that? It is y bar minus beta 1 cap x bar. What is the estimate of beta 1 cap? It is a syx upon sx square. Okay, this is we obtained. Now we wish to find out the estimate of a sigma square, and estimate of sigma square is obtained by using the residuals or error sum of squares. So sum of square due to residuals, sometimes it is also known as a SSREF. Okay, so sum of square due to residuals is nothing but it is a summation EI square. What is EI? EI is nothing but yi minus yi cap square, and you can substitute the yi cap is nothing but beta 0 cap minus beta 1 cap xi. How we solve this? How will you solve this? It is the A, B, and C. So we use this A square plus B square plus C square plus 2AB plus 2BC plus 2CA. ऐसा ही है ना कुछ?
हाँ सर.
तो वही यूज कर रहे हैं. Hello. Okay, so here we consider this A, it is the summation yi square, and B, so because we are taking the square, so it is a square plus B square plus C square. Okay, so here it is a summation beta 0 cap, and here it is a beta 1 cap square is outside, it is a summation xi square minus 2AB. यहाँ B minus इसलिए minus twice of, तो twice of क्या आएगा? Beta 0 cap into summation yi. Why? Because beta 0 cap is free. And then twice of BC, बट ये भी माइनस है, ये भी माइनस है, तो माइनस माइनस क्या हो गया प्लस, so that is beta 0 cap, beta 1 cap, this is the constant, and xi is that, so summation xi, and minus 2ac, so this is plus, this is minus, so it is a minus beta 1 cap is outside, so 2 beta 1 cap and summation yi xi. Okay, तो अच्छी तरह से लिखते हैं इसको, तो दिस समेशन वाई स्क्वायर, बीटा 0 कैप स्क्वायर बाहर निकल गया, तो 1 इतनी टाइम n टाइम रिपीट, तो इट इज n बीटा 0 कैप स्क्वायर, बीटा 1 कैप स्क्वायर समेशन xi स्क्वायर, दिस इज द, इसको हम क्या लिखते हैं, समेशन y इज n y बार, तो वी कैन राइट 2 टाइम n बीटा 0 कैप y बार, और साइन आके माइनस है, और ये क्या है n x बार, तो आएगा सॉरी प्लस 2 बीटा 0 कैप बीटा 1 कैप x बार, और यहाँ पे क्या है समेशन xi y है। अब xi स्क्वायर की टर्म इकट्ठी करो, क्या होता है, तो दिस इज समेशन y स्क्वायर, और बीटा 0 कैप को हम क्या लिख सकते हैं, y बार माइनस बीटा 1 कैप x बार, तो n इंटू वाई बार माइनस बीटा 1 कैप x बार स्क्वायर, बीटा 1 कैप स्क्वायर एज इट इज समेशन xi स्क्वायर, यहाँ पे बीटा 0 कैप की जगह क्या लिखेंगे, y बार माइनस बीटा 1 कैप x बार, एंड दिस इज दी y बार इज देयर प्लस 2n बीटा 0 कैप की जगह पे y बार माइनस बीटा 1 कैप x बार, दिस इज द बीटा 1 कैप x बार माइनस दिस, and just multiply and solve this. So this is the summation y square, this n y bar, यहाँ पे है, इसका क्या होगा y बार स्क्वायर माइनस 2 टाइम y बार बीटा 1 कैप x बार y बार प्लस x दिस स्क्वायर, तो y बार स्क्वायर यहाँ पे आ गया माइनस 2 टाइम n बीटा 1 कैप x बार y बार प्लस n बीटा 1 कैप स्क्वायर x बार स्क्वायर, बीटा 1 कैप समेशन xi स्क्वायर माइनस 2n, this is y bar square, and minus minus ये plus हो गया, तो 2n बीटा 1 कैप x बार y बार, and this is the 2n y bar x bar बीटा 1 कैप, that is बीटा 1 कैप y bar x bar, and minus twice of n, this is the बीटा 1 कैप स्क्वायर x bar स्क्वायर, and minus 2 this, कुछ कैंसिल होता है तो कैंसिल कर देते हैं, होता है कुछ कैंसिल, यहाँ पे 2n y बार है, यहाँ पे प्लस y बार है, तो एक ही बचेगा n y बार, तो वी कैन राइट समेशन yi माइनस n y बार स्क्वायर। अब यहाँ पे बीटा 1 कैप स्क्वायर है कॉम, तो यहाँ पे समेशन xi स्क्वायर है, यहाँ पे क्या है ये माइनस 2n है, वहीं आ रहा है, वही स्क्वायर वाला टर्म, यस ये है, यहाँ पे एक n है, यहाँ पे माइनस 2 है, तो एक ही माइनस n बचेगा, तो बीटा 1 कैप स्क्वायर को कॉमन ले लिया तो क्या मिलेगा, समेशन xi माइनस x बार n x बार, ओके, यहाँ पे स्क्वायर नहीं आएगा, ये गलत है, ये शुड नॉट बी स्क्वायर, स्क्वायर यहाँ है, ठीक। फिर यहाँ पे क्या है कि 2n बीटा 1 कैप पाई बार, ये 2n बीटा 1 कैप पाई बार, और ये यहाँ पे, तो दिस विल बी कैंसल आउट विथ दिस, तो एक बचेगा 2n, यहाँ पे कितना है 2 बीटा 1 कैप है, तो 2 बीटा 1 कैप बाहर ले लेंगे तो क्या आएगा समेशन xi y माइनस n x बार y बार, ठीक है, तो ये हो गया समेशन y माइनस n y बार स्क्वायर, दिस इज द बीटा 1 स्क्वायर दिस, और ये यहाँ पे आपके पास ये आ गया, तो इसको हम क्या कहते हैं, दिस इज नथिंग बट yi माइनस y बार स्क्वायर, इसको क्या लिखते हैं समेशन xi माइनस x बार स्क्वायर, ये क्या है, it is a correlation between xi and yi, sorry covariance between xi yi, so we can write summation yi square plus beta 1 cap square, this is a sx square minus माइनस क्या आएगा, माइनस दिस इज ए 2 बीटा 1 n x बार n x y, ठीक है, अब बीटा 1 के जगह पे क्या लिख सकते हैं, एस एक्स वाई अपॉन एस एक्स स्क्वायर, तो ये कैंसिल आउट हो जाएगा इसके साथ, तो क्या बचेगा समेशन वाई आई कैप स्क्वायर एन टाइम बीटा 1 कैप एस एक्स स्क्वायर। यहाँ पे क्या है 2 टाइम, सॉरी एस एक्स वाई, यहाँ 2 टाइम है, तो +1 -2, तो इट इज ए 1 टाइम, तो दिस इज ए summation yi minus y bar square minus beta 1 cap and xy. So this is you will get, and this is nothing but the sum of square due to residuals आपने शुरू किया था, so this is called sum of square due to total, and n beta 1 cap sxy is known as a sum of square due to regression. Why? Because if you remember, sum of square due to regression, we have written that beta cap transpose x transpose y. Okay, so this is nothing but the same. So sum of square due to residual is given by sum of square due to totals minus sum of square due to regression. How many degree of freedom of total? It is a n observation, so it is a n minus 1. How many degree of freedom of regression? So only one parameter to estimate, it is -1. So degree of freedom is a n minus 2, because 2 degrees of freedoms are associated with the parameters. Okay, so sum of sigma square is nothing but sum of square due to residual divided by degrees of freedom, that is n minus 2, and it is also known as a ms due to residual. And sigma cap square is unbiased estimator of sigma square. तो ये हमने ऑलरेडी प्रूव किया है मैट्रिक्स नोटेशन में. So because sigma cap square depends on the residual SS, any violation of assumption of the model error or any misspecification of model may seriously damage the usefulness of a sigma square, an estimate of a sigma square. Okay, so that is how we always try to see that residual satisfy all basic assumptions. और अभी किसका लेक्चर है इसके बाद?
एमबीबी सर का है सर.
सिलेबस में खत्म नहीं हुआ उनका?
नहीं सर.